start learning how to add integers, and we're going to go right to some examples. They're going to say to find the sum using a number line. And I think number lines are a good way to start. We're going to learn some other ways to make this a little bit easier. We're going to come back to our illustration of the hole in the ground and the mound of dirt. We're going to compare some of those things as well. But let's just draw a number line. Let's go -10 to 10 on our number line. Put 0 in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's positive 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's negative 10. And you don't have to label them all. Just label maybe every 2 or something. This is -2, -4, -6, and -8. So let's say we're going to start with this problem. 6 plus -8. And I'm going to kind of explain this problem both with the number line and with the whole illustration so that we can understand it. If I have 6 plus -8, and I'm using a number line, I start here at 6. Okay? So I'm starting at 6. But I'm adding a -8. So if you're adding a negative, you're going to go to the left 8 units. Okay? So where would I be if I went 8 units to the left from 6? I would be at -2. Okay? 0 is a regular number. Let's just follow me. We start at the 6, and you don't count the 6. Okay? From 6, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units to the left, and I wind up at -2. And that's the way you do it. Let's do another one. -2 plus 11. So this time we're going to start at -2, and we're going to go 11 units which direction? To the right this time. Remember, you don't count the -2. So I'm going to, from -2, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 units to the right, and I wind up where? At 9. Okay, and so that's how you do these using a number line. Let's do, but hold on a second, I want to go over number 2 with a hole illustration. Let's say that I had a 2-foot hole. We said yesterday -2 is like a 2-foot hole. Okay, I've got a 2-foot hole in the ground. If I stick in that hole on a board 11 feet long, okay, I'll get a different color here, orange. If I put a board in that hole and the board itself is 11 feet long, do you see that the board will be sticking 9 feet above ground? That this will be 9? Right? If I put an 11-foot board in a 2-foot hole, there's going to be 9 feet sticking out above the ground. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're going to keep coming back to the whole illustration quite a bit. Number 3, -5 plus -9. Now this one, if you think about the number line, and I'm actually going to run out of room here, I'm going to start at -5, which is right here. Now I'm going to run out of room, but if I go 9 units to the left, where will I be? -14, right? Now I want you to notice some of the pattern here. On number 3, I started with a negative number and I added a negative number. What's 9 plus 5? 14. didn't I basically just add these two numbers but keep the sign? Okay, so if I'm adding a negative to a negative, then you basically just add the numbers, right? But look at number 2. Weren't the sign, I had a negative and I added a positive. So what's 11 minus 2? 9. But you have to pay attention to whether the answer should be positive or negative. That's where the number line helps. That's where thinking of the hole in the ground helps. Let's look at number 3 with the hole illustration. And yes, I want you to put this in your notes. If I have a 5-foot hole, that's like negative 5. 5-foot hole. Okay, now remember what our problem was. Negative 5 plus negative 9. That was our problem. I have a 5-foot hole. If I add a negative 9, would I be digging the hole deeper or throwing in dirt? I would be digging the hole 9 feet deeper. So this distance right here is 9 feet. So now the hole is how deep? Now the whole thing is 14 feet deep. Okay, you're in a 5-foot hole, you dig down 9 more feet, you're going to be at negative 14. Okay? Okay, let me give you 2 problems to try on your own now. This would be examples 4 and 5. Negative 10 plus 3. Actually, I'm going to give you 3 problems, okay? Let's do 7 plus negative 12. And let's do negative 7 plus negative 12. I'll pause the video and let you try those. Okay, let's see how you did. The answer to the first one should have been negative 7. You start at negative 10. Okay, if I was at negative 10 and then I went 3 units to the right, okay, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, okay, and I'd be at negative 7. Number 5, the correct answer was negative 5. Okay, I start at 7 and go 12 units to the left. All right, number 6 should have been negative 19. I'm in a 7-foot hole and I dig down 12 more feet. Okay, and so that is basically the process for adding integers. You know, you may see some other problems. Let's just call this problem number 7, where they give you 3 problems like negative 9 plus 8 plus negative 13, something like that. And if they give you 3 numbers added, 3 integers added together, just take 2 at a time and work in order left to right. What is negative 9 plus 8 going to be? That's going to be negative 1. Let's rewrite it now as negative 1 plus negative 13. So if I'm at negative 1 and I go 13 units to the left, it's going to be what? Negative 14. The other thing that they may give you is this absolute value symbol. And I don't know if you've seen this before or not. But absolute value just means distance from 0. And because I'm talking about a distance, the absolute value of a number is always positive. And the absolute value symbols are just 2 vertical lines around the number. All right? So, for example, they'll give you this. See those 2 vertical lines around negative 3? That means, what is the absolute value of negative 3? It's 3. Okay, so it's always positive. You don't change the sign, it's just always positive. What's the absolute value of 6? 6. Okay? So it's always positive. The answer is always positive when it comes out of absolute value. So if they give you a question like this, let's do this problem. Negative 9 plus the absolute value of 7 plus 5 plus negative 12 plus negative 13. Okay, if they give you a problem like that, once again, you need to work 2 at a time. Don't get in a big hurry. Let's just work with the first 2 problems and just work slowly. What is the absolute value of 7? 7. So let's just rewrite this as negative 9 plus 7. Based on what we just learned with number lines in our whole illustration, negative 9 plus 7 is going to be negative 2. All right? Now what's the next thing that I bring down? The plus 5. So now I have negative 2 plus 5. So if I'm at negative 2 and I go 5 units to the right, where am I at? 3. Now I bring down this part, 3 plus negative 12. Now I'm over at positive 3, and I go 12 units to the left. So I'm going to be where, JC? Negative 9, good. Negative 9. And then if I add negative 13, now I'm already at negative 9, or I'm already in a 9-foot hole. And I go down 13 more feet, or I go 13 more units to the left, I'm going to be at negative 22. And when you do those problems, I am going to ask you to make sure you do all this. If you do these problems in your head, you will mess them up. Okay, you need to slow down and show steps just like I did. One last thing before I give you your assignment is they're going to tell you to use mental math to solve. Later on, we're going to do a huge section on solving equations. You will get very good at solving equations this year using algebra steps. But right now, they're just trying to help you understand integers. So if they gave you this problem, negative 8 plus n equals 0, they're wanting you to just kind of in your head think about integers. So this is saying negative 8 plus what would be 0? It's going to be 8. Okay? So n equals 8. Right? Just working through it mentally. Let's do another one, or maybe you have to think a little bit more. Negative 6 plus x equals 4. So now it's asking, what would I add to negative 6 that would give me an answer of 4? 10. It'd be 10. Okay? So you're going to have some of those problems tonight, and we'll stop there for today.